Hello.
Hello, how are you today?
There we go. Oh, let me bring this down. Fuck, I look so sweaty today. It is so hot over here. I do apologize. Oh my
That's
gosh.
all right. I live in Florida, so I understand.
Ah, fair enough, Florida. No, I am not used to the heat at all. And if I have to move over 1 mile an hour to do anything, I just erupt into an embarrassing amount of sweat. So, pretty standard format today. Just a general kind of chit chat about McCartney, Beatles, your history, and collecting in general. And then we'll go through your 5 or more items. If you've got any honorable mentions or anything like that, we can also do that. But are you all good to go, sir?
I'm good. I got everything ready here. Mainly wingy stuff.
Awesome.
So, all right.
Are there any other positions besides the Paul McCartney and Wings appreciation page that you want to give a shout out to as well? Are you an admin anywhere else or anything like that?
YouTube channel.
YouTube channel. What's that called?
Macca Films 66, and that's where I do crappy movie reviews sometimes.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I've seen that. Let me just add that in. There we are. This is how all the real big league guys do it. They do their notes live.
Oh yeah, that's the way to do it.
Oh,
way it's fresh.
Oh right. Oh my gosh. Right. I might even put this in black and white just so I look a bit a bit more different, you know. Oh my gosh. This is the wrong platform to be self-conscious, really, but I'll be all right.
I know this is my first podcast, so hey, I'm nervous, and my wife's they're sitting there staring at me. So
give her my best, will you? No,
you gives the best.
You are in good hands. You're in good hands. Trust me.
Yes, sir. You even beat Tom Hardy.
Well, I think that's the first fucking guest I've beaten. Then I guess. Oh my gosh. No,
yeah, I was supposed to be on there last month, but my wife decided to have a seizure. So the night we were supposed to do our podcast,
good heavens,
my wife had a seizure. Yeah, so it's been postponed.
Well, I was about to make a flippant joke there, but I think I shan't now. I think I shan't. We will press right on. Oh, Beetle Books has just sent me a message on Facebook. How delightful. Right, here we go. 3, 4. I feel like I look so red, especially with the hat as well. Oh my gosh.
Like you've been in Florida.
Oh my gosh. Hello, and welcome to Macca in Your Attic, a Paul or Nothing spin-off show where we look for the primo tit and tat in someone's attic. Basically, someone's going to show me 5 items from their Paul McCartney / Beatles / Wings collections, and hopefully each is going to have their own unique story. As always, be sure to check out the Patreon page, links down below, and hit us up at paulmccartneypod@gmail.com or on our Twitter page, which is @McCartneyPod. Now, today, everyone, I'm very excited indeed, as I'm joined by someone whose name I've seen out and about on the internet for probably close to a decade now. And he's an incredibly active member of the Beatles online community. And he's someone who starts as many conversations as he takes part in. So he probably actually does more for the fandom in that sense than I ever will, being the kind of horrid recluse that I am. But he is the host of the Macca Film 66 YouTube page and the admin on the Paul McCartney and Wings fans appreciation page. And so therefore, he's also very important, folks, because I have to keep him happy so that I can spam his page with all of my posts. Everyone, will you please welcome Mr. Harry G. Benson. Harry, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, how you doing? Not much, man. Doing good. Just sweating.
Oh, just same as me. I do apologize, everyone. Thank you for bringing it to everyone's attention straight away. Oh, he's trying to get in my head, folks. There we are. No, he has just told me off air that he was actually meant to be on 2 legs before this. So you are the first documented guest ever to appear on a Paul or Nothing production before a 2-leg show. So I do thank you for that. I do thank you indeed.
Welcome, my pleasure.
Now, I ask this everyone when it's their first time on one of my shows. Where are you calling from, and what's the weather like?
I am calling from Florida, North Florida, and it's been rainy. We had a bad thunderstorm last night, but it's been in the 90s here, Fahrenheit, of course. Not sure what the Celsius is, but it's been very hot, humid, um, but miserably rainy. It's also, and it's been flooding here a little bit, but beautiful lightning.
Where in the world isn't flooding right now? It's such an epidemic, that is. Silver rain comes down upon Florida town, clearly.
Definitely, all over the East Coast here.
Of course. Now, have you actually had to go into an attic today, or has this all just been stuff that's been in and around the house?
Around the house. Basically, my man cave now has been moved to my bedroom. So most of my stuff is in the bedroom or in the closet. So.
And this is at the behest of the runner of the house, I imagine. Yeah. Yeah, I imagine so.
That's correct. Yeah.
Correct. Have you ever had to do a purge or anything like that? I'm not saying at anyone else's behest, but has one ever taken place?
Well, yeah, I've had purges before, but not on my own accord. I've had my records collection stolen back maybe 15 years ago. Most of all my Macca stuff. So I've had to repurchase a lot of the albums and 45s that I've had. And then with moving also, I've been lost some stuff here and there, but mostly all my McCartney stuff was stolen, my Beatles stuff. So I've had to repurchase a lot of it.
And not to jump too far ahead, but are there any items that you're still yet to reclaim from that loss? Like my heart has just sunk right now, Harry. You've ruined my day. Oh,
well, I got all the originals. Yeah, the only thing I don't have, I haven't gotten or was able to get back was the Band on the Run picture disc, and the More Lonely Nights picture disc. Is the only two I have not been able to purchase yet. So
that's interesting. They're not that rare here in the UK. You do kind of see them every now and then, along with the Say one, weirdly enough. But that's probably just my own minor viewpoint on the world. So when did you first start getting into the Beatles and McCartney? And then more importantly, when did you start getting the memorabilia, the tat?
McCartney was in 82. Well, before that, I should say, I was a Wings fan around London Town time, but I didn't know Paul McCartney was in it. So when around London Town, Back to the Egg, I was a fan of Wings, not Paul McCartney per se. I didn't know who he was. My brother had to tell me who he was, that he was in a band called the Beatles. Right. And so I'm actually one of those people who said, oh, Wings, Paul was in the Beatles before Wings. So that was around that time. And then when I was able to work, I purchased my first 45 in 1982, which was Ebony and Ivory. Oh. And yeah, it was the hit, man. And since then it's been uphill or downhill, whatever you want to say. Since then, I've been collecting. Anytime that his albums come out, it's usually day of purchase. So, and then I became a Beatles fan after that. My brother is the one who introduced me when he told me about Paul being in the Beatles. He had the Red and Blue Greatest Hits albums, and that's where I learned about the Beatles. And then I became a big Beatles fan in the 80s, collecting the cassettes and then later on the albums.
Now, so, how true is it? I mean, at least from your perspective, how true is it that Paul was uncool in the 80s then? If you started in like 82, what were the next 8 years like?
It was miserable. The first album I bought actually was Pipes of Peace. Yes. And the looks I got from people that I was about 18 or 17, something like that. Yeah, it was like, that's an old man, you know. Why are you buying an old man's music? But you know, I said I enjoyed it, and I would ask people when I was learning. I was like, "Can I want to find out about Ram." Mm-hmm. Go to the record store, and these guys, young men in the store, didn't know nothing about Ram. You asked about Paul McCartney, he didn't have a clue. It was amazing. But it was embarrassing. My friends used to nick me because, there was the Eurythmics going on, Duran Duran. Then you had heavy metal, and I'm still buying Press to Play. I'm buying Spies Like Us.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
So
No.
it was.
There is a
it was
certain
kind of
resilience you need, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's like going to buying a Paul McCartney album was like going into a triple X movie theater. You had to sneak in to buy Tug of War and then kind of sneak out.
When Robert De Niro takes Sissy Spacek to see that porno in a Taxi Driver, you just take some girl to see Broad Street. I didn't want to see that kind of movie. It's like, come on.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, would you say now is the best time to be a Beatles or Paul McCartney fan?
I think so. With all the stuff coming out, and I see all the young podcasters and all the younger fans in the group and elsewhere in other groups becoming fans of the Beatles, like Hudson Rainey for one of them is one of them. It's exciting to see all this material come out, and then new generations of Beatle fans and Paul McCartney fans are coming. So yeah, I think this is the best time.
Yeah, that's one of the things I talk about a lot on this show is the romanticization I have for the past in terms of having to know someone who knew where to get a bootleg and having to go to record fairs and, like where John and Paul would have to go across Liverpool to find a new chord to play. It's that exact kind of thing when compared to just looking at chords on the internet today. So did you have more fun buying records and buying stuff back then, or do you just prefer to go on eBay now?
I had more fun because you actually didn't know. I wasn't a member of the Wings Fun Club because my mother wouldn't let me. She was not a Beatles fan. Either was my father. The only Beatles song he liked was Yesterday. So when I said, "Can I join the Fun Club?" That's why you knew the new releases were coming out. They said no. That's too much money because they grew up in depression, so everything was too much money for them. So yeah, I found it exciting then because when you go to a shop and then you come across a new record, like I remember Spies Like Us, the 12-inch single, and I was just flipping through the singles, and there it was. I didn't know about it that song had a 12-inch, and so I was like really excited, and I was like, "Hey, $6! Hey, I got that," and bought it. And that was a surprise. Now it's easy. It's like I go on Discogs or eBay, and I can find what I want, and it just order it, or go to the Paul McCartney website and order the new records, McCartney 3 or whatever. So the adventure's gone that way, unless I go to a record shop, which is there's non-existent where I live. I live out in the sticks, so I had to drive about an hour or so. And the last record shop I went to, they had just Wings Over America. They had no Beatles stuff. There was no Wings except for Wings Over America, no Paul McCartney solo, nothing. Wow. It was terrible. So
your record store is the USPS then, I take it then.
Yes, yes, sir. My mail lady was during lockdown last year. My mail lady was really mad with me because I was ordering a bunch of import singles from England and Spain, and she would come with packages. She said, "You need to stop ordering these records. They're killing me."
That's funny. That's hilarious. No, that the same thing happened to me. I started collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards, which is a very lame thing to do, but they always come in these cardboard sleeves, and I have so many of them now. They all come in the post. There's about 100 of them here, and I know my postman doesn't think they're Yu-Gi-Oh cards. He must think they're like LSD tablets or something, and they're just all coming to my house. What is this kid up to? Eh? Oh, I say, kid. I'm being very, very, very generous to myself there.
No, that's all right.
Going back from past to present, though, how do you feel about the current state of Beatles product? Do you feel like all the camps should synchronize a little more and space it out, or would you be happy with 10 releases every month forever?
Well, I think spacing it out would be a lot better. What was it, 2018, when the Red Rose Speedway Wings Wildlife came out? There was Egypt Station, there was the John Lennon Imagine the next month, and then there was the Beatle Christmas singles, and then there was the Wings box set. One month right after the other. And when you're on a limited income, it's hard to keep up. So, but I'm not one of those nowadays.
Oh no, us podcasters, we earn millions from this. We earn you wouldn't believe how much money I earn from this. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I could tell.
He says sat in his mom's house. Yeah. But
in the basement.
In the basement, in the in the BBC studios basement. Yeah, I'll lease it out from them. But I don't know. I do feel like if I was back in my squalid position when I started my podcast and stuff, where I really didn't have two pennies to rub together, and I did have that kind of, there are too many versions of Egypt Station, and why should I have to pay for the original album? And then they released the other album later with the different songs. Now I'm much more at peace with it. But that's only because I have wonderful fans that throw money at my face at the internet every month. So I'm not sure how I really feel about it. The other issue for me is I'm not a bigger fan of the wider solo catalog. Like, I'm really not concerned that I'm not going to pick up All Things Must Pass, or that I didn't pick up Imagine or Plastic Ono Band. So I just focus on the Paul stuff. And if you're just like me and you just focus on the Paul stuff, it's actually not that expensive, really,
Right. I can wait for the others, like the Imagine set I bought a year afterwards, price drop. Same thing, I'm going to wait for All Things Must Pass. So, eventually the box set I'll get, then the Super Deluxe, and get that eventually, but I'll wait for the price to drop. And it's not a need, So, but McCartney, yeah, that's a need. I'll find a way to get it. But I don't get all the color variations. I have, like, McCartney 3, I only got one LP. I do have about 7 CDs though.
Really? So you got all 4 of the normal of the alternate CDs, the regular CD, the Japanese CD, that's 6. What's the 7th one?
The Target exclusive.
The Target exclusive.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The Target exclusive, and then I have the McCartney 3 Imagine, but I only got the pink vinyl, so that's all I got. I don't need any more. So,
do you wish that the Harrison and Lennon estate would get in on the alternate colored vinyl game, or do you like that there's a different release strategy for each household?
I actually prefer the way the Harrison and Lennon estates do theirs. McCartney's, it's just too much with all the different colored vinyls, and then you're seeing them flip back up on eBay or Discogs for hundreds of dollars, or whatever. It's ridiculous. If you missed out on a Target exclusive, you're going to pay $70, or $80. But it's nice to know, like, I have the red McCartney vinyl. It's nice to go on Discogs and see how much it goes for, that because I need money. I can see how much I can sell it for.
Don't play that one. Do not play that one. Oh my god.
No,
that's funny.
It's not played.
Well, seeing as you mentioned that, like, you don't see price drops in the McCartney camp because he kind of short prints everything, or like he's almost got a pinpoint precision within to maybe a couple of thousand either way knowledge of how many diehard content buying fans he has, and there never seems to be like, oh, we need 10,000 more copies like Sony had with the PlayStation 5 last year, where half the people on the planet couldn't get one for some reason, whereas Lennon and Harrison, they seem to have that kind of optimistic, this could get to number 8, and they make quite a lot of them, and then they don't sell, and then you can just strategically wait. And McCartney's might be the smartest move in that sense. Never drop the price, never discount, maybe give out a couple of free dice every now and then. and that's about it.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's what I find it, because I never see Paul's drop. I was waiting for Red Rose Speedway to drop, and it dropped dollars, and it took about a couple of weeks, but it dropped about $10, and then I said, well, that's about as far as it's going to go. So I went ahead and bit the bullet on that when it came out, because I got the Wildlife first, and then because it was cheaper, and then Red Rose, about a month later.
So you haven't got Wings Over Europe then?
No, I have a boot of the CD, but no, I don't have. No,
Allegedly,
I don't have
allegedly, you have a boot of the CD.
right? Yeah, allegedly, yes.
Yeah, allegedly, for comedic purposes on this podcast. This is all scripted, folks. Everything I'm saying now is scripted. I wrote this. What Harry's about to say next, I wrote that as well. So don't worry, it's all for comedy purposes. What speaking of cost, what's the most you've ever spent on a single item? How much have you annoyed your wife? Come on.
The Wings Over America box set was $225. That's the most expensive. She's sitting there eyeballing me right now. So that thing cost, but yeah, the Wings Over America box set was the most expensive.
I feel like one of those moments where like an old family friend brings up something that's actually still quite sore between you and your partner, and they bring it up jovially, and then you share the look. We're going to talk about this later.
Yeah. I always tell her it was 6 years ago. Let it go.
It's gone up $8 in value. Come on, it was a sound investment. Come on.
I got the bonus 6 tracks, the Cow Palace. So come on, it was well worth it.
Oh, hang on. So there's 6 bonus tracks on Wings Over America. What are they?
Yeah, they're let's see. It was the Cow Palace. They had the Cow Palace shows, and it had about 6 or 7 songs on there.
Okay,
and cool. They're not overdubbed, so it's the raw sound. So
I can't believe they didn't include an unedited Wings Over America on the first archive re-release, but I think all the archive re-release of the live albums have all been lacking, to say the least, and Wings Over America could have been the one at least of RAM quality. Like there's so much like photography stuff and so many other shows that were recorded and stuff you could have put on there, that if I'm going to have a go at one of them in particular, like I'm not saying we needed a booklet and 8 CDs of the Amoeba gig or anything like that, but Wings Over America, come on, it could have had a bit more of a push to it.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they actually included Rock Show with it, but and
they didn't include
videos
they didn't include Rock Show.
No, you had to buy that separately.
MPL, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing, MPL?
It would have made sense, but no, they didn't do that. So you had to buy it separately. And
my gosh. You know how Lucasfilm, the guys behind Star Wars, they employed people just to be in charge of the canon and be like, okay, this character's this age and this character's lightsaber's this color, just someone to keep track of all that. Someone needs to be at MPL just going, just a super nerd who's just paid $45K a year just to go, it needs Rock Show in it, and I'm not budging, I'm not signing off on this until it's on. Oh, how do things like that slip? That sounds like a rights issue to me. Probably like Paramount distributed the movie or something, and they'd have to give them 30 pence or something to get the rights back, something like that.
Yeah.
Now, just
that's what I'm worried. Oh, I was going to say, that's what I'm worried about for the Back to the Egg box set if it ever gets released. The all the little shows that they had, like the Making the Rocket and the Back to the Egg video promos and the concert for Campuchia. I wonder how that's going to work out on that box set.
Could you imagine if Paul's just like, I'm putting not only the Wings part of the concert for Campuchia, I am going against 18 different music labels, and I'm going to upload the entire concert for Campuchia with all the artists, and I'm just going to take them all to court,
That's probably the reason why it hasn't been released yet. So
I mean, I'm sure Lawrence Juba will allow Paul to use the tapes of Maisie. I don't think he'll turn him down.
no, he had to ask Paul to use permission to use it on his album. So
no, it does make you wonder. It's like, could Denny Lane hold up the Red Rose Speedway album if he didn't allow them to like use "Send Me the Heart" or something like that? You know,
he would, but he needed the money, so
yeah.
the income for him. Now he's living in Florida, so
I only badmouth Denny Lane on the podcast where my face is not being shown. Because I'm from Birmingham too. I'm a brother, you know. I'm from Birmingham. I'm from Birmingham too, you know, Duck. You know. But yeah, that still hasn't got me an audience with him. I feel like I should have by now.
yeah. Well, his girlfriend probably won't let it happen. But I do have a Denny Lane thing here to show too. So eventually,
Okay. You know what then, folks? Harry's being the professional here. He can tell I'm waffling. He's clearly a fan of the show. Let's take a little trip through your dusty attic. We'll move some of the cobwebs away, clear out some of the old guitar cases, and let's have a look at your first Macca memorabilia member.
all righty. This here is Paul, the Beatles Yellow Submarine All Together Now collection.
Fantastic.
Nothing doesn't look like Paul at all.
It looks more like John.
Yeah, it does, but yeah, it's Paul. His eyes are rolled up.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, yeah, it's cool.
Our little Paulie.
My daughter knows what to get me. So does my wife. But yeah, she got me this here. So that's never taking it out of the box. I don't know why, but
I like that, and I'm sure there's a whole set of them as well. I imagine.
Yes, there's. I don't know if you can see there.
Oh wow! Oh, I get Yo, I want Captain Fred. I want Jeremy and the Blue Meanie, all the obscure ones. Oh my gosh! Yeah. Oh, and then the box is You can get them when they're getting old, and you can get the 3-headed Hey Bulldog. What the fuck? Yes. What the hell? What the? Okay, guys, look, it's my birthday in like a month. Come on, you can all get away. Oh no, it's not. This episode's not going to go out for like 6 weeks. Oh no. Okay, okay, everyone. Okay,
early Christmas gift.
Early Christmas gift. Yeah, you can all get me the Titan collection. I need the Bulldog. I need the Bulldog one. Oh my god! And the big beard ones when they're going, oh, I feel like we're getting a bit older, like that. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. The box itself. There, I feel like I'm a 5-year-old. You know, when kids like the box more than the toy. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Oh my gosh.
That's probably the reason why I kept it in the box, so because I like the box. Definitely. All right, so I'm going to show Linda some love, if that's all right.
This might be our first Linda item on the show.
Picture disc. Oh, the glare is terrible here. There we go. Take it out.
Oh, is that Wide Prairie? Oh, wow.
Wide Prairie. You know, about time Flaming Pie had come out, Paul had these picture discs with Young Boy and such, and then next year, then Linda come out with White Prairie, and this is the front there, and then it's just a blue background there.
I like that.
And then this one here, it's the second single. This is the light that comes from within.
Oh my gosh. It's got parental guidance on it. Does any Paul McCartney single have parental guidance on it? Oh my god.
That's why Linda was such a rebel, you know. That's why everybody loves
crazy.
Linda.
You say I'm a hick. Oh, what did you say? Is it you're a fucking dick? Is that the actual line? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Go on, Linda. Go on. Oh, excellent. Oh. Yo, you just have to grab him if you saw him. You just have to, and you did. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Oh. I try to be a Wings completist. Mm-hmm. So and members of Wings played on this as well. So why I said I had to have them, plus Linda, and they were unique. So I like record's fallen. So I had to show Linda.
No, that's cracking.
Right.
Just to confirm for everyone at home, was that first one more of a light baby blue? It came up as kind of a grey white on the camera.
It's a baby blue with a baby blue with pink background.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Fantastic.
Yeah, and that's the back of it.
Wide prairie.
The first one of the first songs Jimmy McCulloch played on. So
no, so being as you're a Wings completist, then you've definitely got. So you'll have the McGear album. You'll have All Those Years Ago. No. Was it All Those Years Ago? The Harrison one that Wings are on.
Yeah, Denny. Denny's on that, and Linda.
Yeah.
And Paul, and
there's a couple of Ringo songs, like Pure
Ringo,
Gold.
I have
something.
on Pure Gold. On Ring, Stop and Smell the Roses. Lawrence Juber's on a couple of tracks on that album. But I had the CD for that. And the one I'm looking for is Liverpool Lou by the Scaffold. Paul's brothers. Yeah. They play on that single. So that's about the only thing I have left to get. I have the McGear, I have the Leave It Alone. Leave It single by McGear. And then I have, because it has a B-side to it that's not on the album. No, wait a minute. Maybe I'm wrong on that. There's one called Strawberry. My mind's late. But anyways, there's a B-side that's not on the album. It's called Strawberry something because it was recorded at Strawberry Studios.
Fairs.
Yeah.
And anything with McCartney's name on it that's got the word strawberry is obviously gonna, make people buy it. They're not stupid.
Oh yeah.
They're not stupid.
Nah, definitely not.
I mean, something I've loved about learning about the wider fan community. I met it with a couple of friends who I've had on this show in Birmingham recently, and they were telling me stories that they could never tell me on the air. Blah blah blah, yada yada yada. But every time they mention either a radio show or a fan club or a fun club, it's all the same kind of names that are still used in podcasts today. So it'll be like things we said today, just song titles. It's always song titles. It's always song quotes, and
right.
I just love how some things change, but some things always stay the same. You know what I mean?
It's consistency.
There's definitely a consistency. Speaking of consistency, do you have a third item that is going to blow my socks off?
Not sure if it's going to blow your socks off, but this is what I have here is the oldest. The only thing I have left in my collection from when I bought in the 80s, and it's a Club Sandwich Broad Street edition. Went into a mom and pop. Well, actually, it was just a pop record store. A young fella only opened on the weekends, and he had a mess of these club sandwiches. And this is the only one that's survived all these years from the 80s.
Wait right there, Harry. Oh my gosh. I do this all the time, and I end up running off camera somewhere, but yeah.
Oh, you have the same thing.
I have a coffee as well. Folks, if you don't have this, I'm sorry, but you are missing out. This is the best single accompaniment to the movie you can have, hands down.
Yes, most definitely.
Let's go through it together. You start on the back page, I'll start on the front page, and we'll meet it.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my god! Just come on. What? Hang on. See, unfortunately, this background technology I'm using really doesn't work. But
I know.
Oh, hang on. There's just great photography in this,
Oh yeah. Lovely pictures.
And it's just it's one of the great examples of like, no wonder this magazine doesn't exist anymore. It's just I've hit the mic. It's just too expensive. Too expensive.
Yes, too expensive. I have one other one from the 70s, but yeah, I'd like to get them all one day. But yeah, that's a nice.
No, club sandwich, Harry. It's a slippery slope, because the first few you get, it's like when you get your first few Beatles or McCartney singles, you're like, oh wow, Spies Like Us is cheap. Yeah, because lots of people bought it and then subsequently gave it away. Whereas, like, you're not going to find a cheap "Please Please Me" in the sleeve, or you're not going to find a cheap come together something. They just don't exist. And then you get your first couple of club sandwiches, and then you get, oh, okay, I've spent about $5 on that on each of the first few. Oh, I bought 10 for $20 here. That's quite good. And then to get issue number 4, $550. It just shoots up, because there's like 4 left. 2 of them have water damage. One of them's in German. It's
right.
It's so tricky. It's so tricky, and I've seen people lose everything pursuing club sandwich. I have.
Yeah, I don't know how some of them folks do it. I seen a fella on Facebook. He bought a box of them for 100 quid. Is what you say, 100 quid? And yeah, 100 quid, 100 bob. Anyways, it was they had the whole collection, and he got lucky because it was an estate sale. Somebody passed away, didn't know the value of those magazines, and come in a big old box. I thought, oh, that would have been sweet if I known about that.
Oh my gosh, that's obviously that's the best news ever for that person, but for me, that's some of the worst news ever. Like, right. Oh my gosh,
it's like, oh, I missed out. Yeah, and then I have the companion book too. So
yeah, beautiful. I don't have that one though. So you know what? Lead with this one. We'll edit that whole thing out. Now we won't, don't worry.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, the best way to get your Broad Street fix is by going through all the club sandwich material and then not watching the movie. That's the best way to consume it, because you can just piece the images together in your mind like a picture book, and you'll get an overall picture.
Right. Yeah, you'll get the gist of it.
They sing, they lose the tapes, they sing some more, they get the tapes back, they sing again. Happy does it.
Yeah, and some very bad acting in that involved in between. I always felt bad for. Oh, this here?
Oh, is that a poster for Letting Go as well?
Letting Go, the New Musical Express.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
Oh. Yeah, and that's 75. And playing songs from Ram, which we did on that tour. But
so is that like a replica of the page in The Enemy, or is it like a fold out? Oh, okay, so it's a fold out kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Came across that on eBay. Yes, it's pretty common, but I'm excited to have it. One day, hopefully I'll get it framed.
No, you need to get that framed. The fact that that's not framed currently is criminal. There are past guests of this show who are like, "What are you doing, Harry?"
It'll get framed eventually.
No,
my wife's good at doing that stuff for me.
By the time this episode comes out, and you'll be inundated with comments of just people saying, "Get it, just do it, Harry, just do it."
Get framed. Protect that piece of paper.
I mean, if that was like a poster for like the Wings University tour, I'd have the FBI come to your house right now and be like, he is abusing some historical artifact here. He sees it right now. Luckily, it's just a poster for Letting Go.
It's just a person for Letting Go. One of my favorite singles. So,
and he's brought it back recently as well, which is great.
Yeah, it's nice with the horns too.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. I love that song. And then, you ready for the next one?
Yeah, go on. Let's see item number 5.
All right, this one came from a friend of mine named Dan Ely. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
Dan is the next. So at the time of recording, he'll be coming out this Saturday, but it'll be like 10 episodes ago by the time this comes out.
Oh, okay. He was nice enough. Me and him have been in communication.
Has he given you the bass guitar that Paul McCartney played?
The Rickenbacker. Now, I wish. But he gave me the next best thing because I asked him how I can get a hold of Jeff Britton because I collect autographs for the Wings, from the members of Wings, and he said, when he comes back to Tennessee, he'll get me one. Well, he was nice enough to surprise me. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh my god!
Drum head.
That's fantastic. A drum head with Jeff Britton's name on it, with his signature,
yeah,
and a little musical note as well. That's. I mean, what more do you want, folks? What more do you want? It's there. My gosh.
Yeah, that's the drummer, the briefest stint in Wings. So it was nice. It was nice of Dan to send that to me. So I wanted to shout out to him for doing that. So
shout out Dan Ely, shout out Jeff Britton. I want to get Jeff on the show. I know he's got some stuff from back in the day.
Well, I would love to hear that. Yeah,
here's a joint holder. Here's a Coke spoon. Here's everything I'm not allowed to talk about because of my non-disclosure agreement.
I call Jeff the Pete Best of Wings.
Pete Best of Wings. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
poor fella.
Do you know if he ever karate chopped that drum skin you own or anything, or if he ever kicked it or?
No, I don't think so. It's pretty.
Just a big handprint right in the middle.
Yeah, Dan didn't tell me, but yeah, that'd be nice if he did.
No, having met Dan and seen the photos of him back at Junior's Farm, I don't think he would have been intimidated by Jeff Britton's karate whatsoever.
No, he was more intimidated by Heather McCartney than anything. So,
yeah.
You can't be here recording.
Trotting up on a horse, yeah. Excellent story.
Yes,
folks, we are literally at the point now where me and my guests are now repeating stories from past episodes of the show. This is everything cyclical, it all comes back around. But yeah, before we close, Harry, before I naturally close things out in my natural showbiz way, do we have any other items that you'd like to show us?
I saved for last because it's a Denny item, and I know how much you love Denny. You're both Birmingham lads, right?
Yeah.
Birmingham, yeah. I went to go see Denny back in 2017 in Gainesville, Florida, and him and Steve Hawley were playing with the Criers.
Oh, wow.
And so yeah, I was all stoked because this would be the first time I ever met a Wing member in person. Well, 2 of them really, and so I got out of my vehicle, which I parked right in front of the venue, which was really sweet. Got the sweet parking spot. I was all excited. Got my camera out, and didn't notice the curb, and I fell, and dislocated my pinky finger, my right hand, and I didn't even know it. Denny's girlfriend, Liz, had helped me up, get off the ground, yeah, helped me get off the ground, and I didn't know who she was. She says, "Oh, are you coming to take photos of the show?" And I said, "Well, I'm just a fan of seeing the show, but I said I wanted to take pictures." And she said, "Look at your finger; it's all sticking out to the side." And I said, "Oh wow!" So she called the ambulance. And then I wouldn't go to the hospital because I said, I said, I've been waiting 40 years to meet Denny Lane. So I said, how about leaving? So she said, well, I'm going to tell Denny. So as soon as I walked in to hit a meet and greet, Denny got off the podium, came over and started chatting with me, shook my hand with the dislocated finger.
Oh,
I'm like, Denny, it's nice to meet you. You're one of my heroes. Let go of my hand. He was nice enough to talk to me for about 10 minutes. We didn't discuss Paul McCartney whatsoever. And all he kept saying is, I'll be up on stage. I'm going to be worried about you. You need to be in hospital. You need to be in hospital with that finger. But I stuck out the whole show with that finger sticking out. And I got him to sign Holiday.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. That's
Yeah.
that's the episode of the day. That's the item of the day, folks. Oh my gosh. Signed
And then
Holidays. Fucking
and
hell.
and matter of fact, Steve, you can't see it probably because he wrote it in silver.
Steve
Is Steve
Holidays.
Yeah, he goes, well, I'm not on this album, and I said, I know, but they wouldn't let me bring in but one item, so I figured this. So he signed it, and at the end of the show, he heads up to me because they had to walk right past us. It's a small club. And he walked right past me. Steve gives me a big hug. He says, you stuck it out. And he says, I love you, man. And he's all sweaty, smells like beer, but it was really great to have all that. So, yeah, this is my little
my word.
memento.
Heavens. That's incredible. That's incredible. So we've had our Lane on the show, Japanese Tears and Holidays now. We've had the entire Denny Lane catalog. I think 2 of them have been signed now as well. Excellent.
Wow, yeah. He was very generous. Like I said, we talked for about 10 minutes and he said, I'm just going to be worried up there about your finger the whole time. But he was very sweet. I've always heard bad things about Denny, but he was nice to me.
I would have just been so tempted to say, I won't cry any Japanese tears. Like, I'd just be trying to come up with the puns just to try and make him laugh. Nah. To be fair, if I did meet Denny, though, I'd just be there saying, can we talk about your finances in the 80s? Can we just, come on, please, come on. No.
I actually felt bad for him at the show because he had a little table set up with different versions of Wings photos.
Yeah.
And you had to pay $10 for him to sign it.
Yeah.
And I felt like, he was in the biggest band, one of the biggest bands in the 70s, and he was, started the Moody Blues, and he's down to this, but he seemed happy, but
it happens a lot though, because you've got the 1% that become the biggest band ever, but then you've got the 1% of the 1% who stay in that circle, and
right,
having tasted it and then having to leave, that must be one of the most difficult things ever.
or it never took off or nothing. So
no, like you would have thought Denny would have had some hit in the 8, like at least one hit in like 86 that got to number 8 on the US Billboard. Just something like that, just nothing
at all. Nobody was interested. And see, I'm a person who considers Wings a band, and each individual member has special, I don't know what you call it, worth in that band. So like in my group, the fan group, I share their solo music, their photos, stuff, so people would know that there was more to Denny Lane than just Wings or Moody Blues or Denny Sywell. All them, I share a lot of their music. Lawrence Juber is prominent because he's one of my favorite guitarists in Wings. So
you're not a backer of the whole. It was just Paul McCartney's backing band. You don't believe that?
No, I don't believe that. Especially in the early Wings period. That I really truly believe that was a real band. They bonded together. I mean, they fought. That's why Denny and Henry left, but I don't believe them as a backing band. They all had their own worth. All of them contributed to the band one way or the other, even though Paul don't credit them and doesn't acknowledge them at all. So,
you were never going to get a McCartney 3-2-1 where it's like, so Denny came up with this idea, and Jimmy had this other idea, and then Lynn had it. It's just no. We'll talk about Live and Let Die because I wrote that one. We'll talk about Band of the Run because I wrote that one, even though I'm not going to talk about the middle 8th that Linda wrote.
Right. Yeah. He totally forgot about that. I just actually rewatched that episode yesterday, on there, and he just totally didn't even mention Linda at all on that.
Yeah, it's
On Live and
because
Let
like
Die.
now, Nancy was just off camera, like your wife is right
Right.
now, and she was there. She's like, don't you dare mention Linda again. You're allowed to mention her once a series, and you've had your one now. You know.
Yeah, that's right. That was terrible.
Oh no,
But
there's something about Nancy where I look at her and I'm like, I wouldn't want to kick my ball in her yard. That's all I'm saying.
at least he's happy. That's the main thing. Yeah. So
Oh.
she's a tough one, just like Linda was. Linda was tough.
Oh God, no. I think if I met Linda in real life, I'd be scared of her. I just feel like she'd, even though that would not be the personality she would exude at all. She's just this kind, gracious person. But I've just heard stories of her being the real line of defense between you and Paul, and she could just turn around and like, no, turn away, go away, goodbye, and there was just nothing you could do about it.
No.
But yeah, on that bombshell, Harry, thank you so much for showing me that holidays. That has really brightened my day after your Titanic bombshell that someone had stolen your entire Paul McCartney and Beatles collection, which ruined my day. So I'm back to where I was now. Thank you for taking me through Jurassic. This has been an incredible episode. Like I say, we've definitely known each other on the peripheries for far too long now. So I'm just glad we've been able to do this.
Yeah, I'm glad you invited me. I appreciate it. I was so anxious and nervous, and it wasn't that bad.
No, your first podcast has gone down a storm, mate. And, unfortunately, any stumblings you may have had will no longer exist on the Two Legs episode. So you'll probably do even better on that one. So I'll see you then.
Oh, yeah, sir. Eventually, hopefully by the end of the month. So.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, that'll be out by the time this goes out. So to everyone on the Patreon, take care for now. To everyone who's watching this on the YouTube, I'll see you, in like 2 months or something like that. But yeah, thank you for joining me and Mr. Harry G. Benson on Macca in Your Attic, a Paul or Nothing spin-off. I hope you've enjoyed our items today and our digressional banter. Keep listening to Paul. Peace and love. No more autographs. Play us out, Denny.
You better go now. Now. You don't want me singing.
So many more of my YouTube videos could be monetized if I just didn't put no words at the end of every one of my episodes.
Oh yeah.
It just flags up every time. Oh yeah.
I love that song.
Oh, it's so underrated.
It is. And people trash it. I noticed this too about Wings, and it aggravates me that like Wings Over America, or not Wings Over America, Wings at the Speed of Sound, because Joe, Danny, Linda all have vocals. Jimmy, they don't consider it. They don't like that album. It was an all Paul vocal album. It just drives me nuts. They do the same thing with Picasso's Last Words, No Words. If it isn't all Paul, then...
No, I mean, I feel like the big problem with Speed at Sound is that it's sequenced quite poorly.
Right.
I think putting Joe, Denny, Linda all in a row wasn't a good choice, and he should have
spaced it out.
Yeah, definitely. But
yeah,
he likes to front load his albums, especially in that period. Like Venus and Mars, it was the all Paul show, and then everyone else comes in on side two.
Side two, it was Danny and then Jimmy. Yeah, before Linda didn't get her song.
I think Wings at Speed of Sound had it right. Like Medicine Jar is a song 3 type track. You know what I mean? It's one to kind of go. This album's only just kicking off. It's Letting Go, isn't it? That comes after Loving Song, isn't it?
No, Magneto. No, it's right. Yeah. Venus and Mars. Yeah, Magneto and Titanium. Yeah, Magneto and Titanium, man.
Luckily,
and then Letting Go.
Don't worry, that's not going to be on the final episode, but the Patreon people will see that one.
Okay.
Man, I've been afflicted with a podcasting stutter for years, so you get no sympathy from me. You really don't. Now, thank you so much for coming on there, man. This has been a real pleasure. This will be out in like I say, this will be out in about 2 months, I imagine, on YouTube. Of course, I imagine I will let you know around what time it's coming out, but it'll be on Patreon tonight, and I'll let you know what feedback we get.
Okay, great. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
No, pleasure is all mine, and thank your dear wife off camera for being the foreman and steadying us on this path. You know,
she wanted me to show you this here, but she bought that for me. But she wanted me to show you that, but I had already shown my allotment. So,
well, the Patreon people will get that one for free, a 7th item. Take care, man. Peace and love.
Thank you. Peace and love.